Hello, everyone. Welcome to this LinkedIn Live. I'm Amrupali, and today we're going to have a candid conversation about what's really happening in the AI space in enterprises with the brilliant minds behind Yellow.ai, our co founders, Raghu Ravinatullah and Rashid Khan. Raghu and Rashid, a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, Amarpali. Nice to
Hi,
be here.
everybody. Great to be on this live. We've been doing this out a while, so it's super exciting to just be on this.
Right. So, well, if you're anything like me, you've also been following the developments in the AI space closely, learning about it, innovating with it, and seeing it evolve and pushing the boundaries of what's really possible. But 2024 was the year that really propelled AI to the mainstream. Now, everyone's talking about it, everyone wants a piece of the action, and they want it now. At Yellow AI, we've also witnessed and contributed to these transformative shifts. Today, we are seeing and building AI agents that can understand nuances in natural conversations, maintain context across complex interactions, and autonomously execute multi-step tasks. That said, while it's good to know about new capabilities and models that make them possible, in today's discussion, we are focusing on what's actually working and not working in the real world enterprise scenarios, and how enterprise leaders like yourselves can position themselves for success with AI agents in 2025. You'll hear insights and learnings drawn from our extensive experiences with hundreds of enterprise deployments across industries globally. Right. Before we jump in to our audience, we'd love to know what industry you're from. Drop them in the comments. And also, we'd love for you to engage with us throughout the session. Got questions? Post them in the comments. Let's keep this interactive. All right. So let's get into it. Rashid, last year, AI moved from being topics of boardroom conversations or, let's say, experimental projects to mainstream adoption. From Yellow AI's numerous deployments last year, what surprised you the most about this shift?
Yeah, I think 2024 has been sort of a year of stabilization on the large language model front, where I think there were a couple of big launches which happened on the LLM space, especially on increasing your context windows and sort of getting to a much better output, right? Now, as a result of that, we at Yellow and also as a function of us deploying for our customers, saw a huge benefit coming out of it. Uh, for us, if I sort of just look back at 2024, I'd always remember it as a pioneering time of agents essentially getting live for our customers across a multitude of use cases, from service use cases to support, people doing solving for their employees as well as their customers. So I think that was great. The second aspect that stood out for me was the adoption of these agents by end consumers. So we've been in this space for the last 8 to 9 years, but just the agents which we have been building in the last 1 year, we've seen massive adoption by end consumers on chat or on voice, which is unprecedented for in the space now. And for the third aspect, like third learning, which I've sort of seen, and as I sort of look back, is it also has been a year of transformation shifts within the Yellow product itself. What I mean by that is we essentially went from launching three new product lines for us with massive complexities: our VoiceX product, the Analyze product, and the whole agentic discovery piece. I think it essentially in the last few years we have had the most amount of innovation as well sort of happen in 2024, which essentially went out to production very fast. So we have also realized the effect of AI on developer productivity and the ability for us to be able to ship things much faster with much more complex things. So I think, and this is just the start. I think it's just getting so interesting. But I'd love to hear what Raghu saw sort of last year as he looks back.
Great. That's great, Rashid. And I think we consider ourselves very privileged to have seen some of the world's first AI deployments in customer experience, over 100 to 150 of them. And I think what was more insightful as well is probably we are one of the companies that have seen these deployments across different set of countries and languages as well. So we had our AI agents get deployed in United States, in the place where it's all happening. But these AI agents also got deployed somewhere in Indonesia and Malaysia, India, UAE, etc. as well. So a wide view of what works, what doesn't work across these geographies. But I think one thing that is super consistent is across the world, the demand for AI agents to drive customer support, customer experience is democratic, is deep, and it's going to continue. So we are seeing as much interest in Indonesia as as much as we are seeing United States and even Europe. I think that's the one thing that I can say is no country is lagging behind on going and deploying these agents. Second, again, very interesting is while US as a country and has a lot of regulations and stuff, we have seen the utmost demand from retail segment. That's been the one that's been adopting this pretty fast. Retail commerce, retail gaming, OTTs, etc. Whereas in consumer facing deployments, I think the Asia Pacific countries took actually lead, that even financial services companies which are regulated have taken that leap forward and deploying these agents across these channels. The third, for the first time ever, I think there is a kind of equalization across different languages. So we've seen that we were able to go live across Spanish and Italian and Hindi and Bahasa as fast as we were going to go live on English. So these LLMs have made, especially when they are trained across multiple languages, they have eliminated barriers across a wide variety of languages to be able to go ahead and deploy these agents. Fourth, a key problem to solve for conversational AI has been the ability to manage and take actions for unpredicted scenarios. Historically, companies had to clearly define the actions that these agents can do and the answers these agents can provide. But a lot of time, the world is unpredictable. People come up with different kind of questions, queries. I think for the first time, we've seen AI deliver to the promise of being delivering messages and interacting with high empathy and have the ability to dynamically change and dynamically adapt to different conversations. So exciting year it has been.
That's so fascinating. So enterprises didn't just dip their toes in AI, last year, but they dove in headfirst. And what's I think is more remarkable is how quickly they've moved from just, cautiously testing these AI agents to deploying them for mission critical operations. And like you said, Raghu, not just in industries like retail or logistics, but also in highly regulated industries like financial services. So that's amazing. But building on that, I would also like to know, where are you seeing AI uh, drive the most tangible and significant business outcomes for these enterprises? When we talk about AI agents transforming the whole operations, we talk about a lot of high level things. But where are you seeing the most tangible outcomes in these, especially in the enterprise scenario?
So, luckily for us, so a lot of our deployments majorly focus on automating the customer service side of things, and we essentially deploy on top of a. So, if you take the VoiceX product, we essentially deploy that on top of an existing telephony system, and it essentially acts as a super agent which can handle, we can understand multiple languages, understand different types of use cases, integrate with your systems and sort of drive conversations. Now, just voice X, what essentially it starts impacting is your first is the connection rate. There's always a hit. So whenever you call, voice X will pick up the phone and answer the call. Second, what it essentially helps you is getting your resolution time down drastically, since it's already connected. It knows who you are, where you're calling from. It was already connected with all your enterprise systems. It can essentially cut down resolution times to a couple of minutes from maybe tens or twenties of minutes, right? So it's like 10x, 15x reduction on that. And third big piece, which our customers sort of see, is largely on improvement on customer satisfaction. Now you essentially have this super agent which is always online, can take calls from whenever, can speak multiple languages. For end consumers who are calling in for any issue which they are frustrated with or anything which they're stuck with, they're getting an amazing experience every time. So that's where most of our enterprises see massive value sort of coming in, and who can talk a little bit more from a business point of view, like what
Yeah.
what businesses realize by deploying solutions like that.
Yeah, Raghu, I'd love to hear about, from your conversations with, leaders across these enterprises. What are they seeing from their KPIs, point of view that, I'm saving costs, or what are those top wins that they're seeing with adopting these AI agents?
Yeah, I think customer service and employee service has opened up as the largest applications of AI at the enterprise, with the close second being the coding assistant helping in the development layer. These are the two areas where companies are clearly seeing uh, tangible cost savings and ROI that can only going to grow exponentially from here as the models integration and the entire infrastructure continues to improve. Few reasons for that. If you take customer service, one, that's a clearly an outsourced industry with very clear objective metrics and unit wise cost already defined, which means that companies are outsourcing a few million calls, and they exactly know how to measure whether they are being successful or not, be it first response time, be it completing a resolution, or it could be customer satisfaction rate. So their ability to measure the AI agents also with the same parameters is very easy, objectively define whether they are good or not, and deploy out in the market. They clearly know the cost for every single call, so they also know the cost savings that they are getting from AI agents. Second, this is an area where the cost savings due to AI agents is actually actionable, which means that a lot of companies, let's say marketing department, chooses, oh, we are reducing broadly a cost, but it's a function within the company, employees within the company, they're doing multiple different things. So the cost savings are effective reduction in the personnel or resources is not directly actionable by the company, which need very strong measures to reduce the employees, etc. Whereas customer service is outsourced, and you have a reduction in the number of calls that are needed to be taken by human agents. You can directly action on that cost, which gives tremendous benefits to the end customer. I think, and the third, I think, most importantly in service as well, is a lot of other areas of AI actually need a lot of data, training, SOPs to be really good. What's good in customer service is they have been using those SOPs and the rules of engagement and the data to already train the human agents that are responding to the customers. And the same data can be clearly repurposed for AI agents to training them. So ready availability of training and data, easily actionable ROI, and clearly defined success metrics is what making customer service as one of the categories that has the largest impact from AI right off the blocks.
Right, right. So we're essentially seeing AI directly driving cost efficiencies for business leaders, and especially for the end customers, completely transformed experience, which I think builds a longer trust with with the brands, and it's all in all a win-win for all parties involved. But it also sounds like, with AI agents coming into the picture, it's not just about efficiency, but also about a lot of self-serve, and how these AI agents are able to do it without minimal human interaction now, as in the sense, intervention, right? So they are being they have more proactive capabilities and autonomous capabilities now, especially since the last year with all the advancements that has happened in the technology. So with that, I would like to segue into a buzzword that we've been hearing a lot since the last few months, agentic AI. There's a growing buzz around the phrase, and I'm hearing it's a potential game changer. So for those of us who are new to it, it'd be great if you could tell us what exactly is agentic AI, and more importantly, what makes this emerging technology so promising for enterprise customer service.
Yeah. So I think the most simple way to sort of understand, and this is what I also talk a lot to our customers, is for the longest time, software essentially had the ability to store information, and essentially give that out of information when you requested it. Right? It really did not have a sense of what information was being stored, and it did not have a sense of understanding of what was in it, right? It was just like you could give anything, you could give an image, you could give a blob or text, right? And that's what most applications essentially do today for us. I mean, today, when you look at applications which you're using, be it Google Docs, be it Salesforce, any of those, as an end consumer, when you're using those, it essentially is just interaction of to and fro of data, right? And then the software really doesn't know what's processing to large extent, right? Obviously, people have written rules on top of that, and they've tried to put a lot of validations on it, but still, it's not like a complete sense there. Now, the word agentic is super tricky one. Today, every company is sort of defining in a way which is convenient to them. But largely, the way to understand anything agentic is giving your sort of software more intelligence, right? So on top of being ability to read and understand, you're also getting intelligence in the ability to write and to generate content on the go, or generate things on the go, not just content. And I'll give sort of an example of that. So in previously, when we used to sort of do deployments for our customers, you had to do like a couple of things to get a bot live. So the first aspect was of that of defining intents, defining the entities over there. Next was defining the core workflow of it. So let's say you would say, hey, if a user is coming for a claim process, ask for the claim ID, ask for the user's mobile number, verify the mobile number, ask for when the accident happened, and then you essentially hit the claim API on the back end, and register the claim, right? And finally, then you essentially would take that live across to your customers. Now with agentic system, sort of the workflow or sort of the way to build these have changed drastically, right? So now you would essentially just come and say, hey, I want an agent which can help process a claim. So the software has intelligence to be able to figure out, hey, this is for a claim sort of use case, and for claims I probably need to ask XYZ questions. So you don't need to define any of those anymore. But the great thing about this is it could also start doing a lot of these integrations on the go, right? So essentially everything is sort of being generated as you sort of talk to it, and that's what for me agentic is. Agentic is the ability to be able to take actions. Agentic is the ability to have intelligence, and most importantly, generate either workflows, generate integrations right on the go, right? And and that's how we're sort of defining agentic at Yellow with our build platform, where you can just come in and tell what goals you're looking to achieve with the agent which you want to deploy, and the agentic platform will make that happen for you with very very minimal effort from build to integration.
Right. So one question that we see often, and I think even I had the same question, was is what is the difference between, let's say, now as we define this agentic thing, what is the difference between AI agents that we that are going live now, as opposed to AI agents which will have the agentic capabilities in the coming months, or in the near future?
Yeah, sure. I think some of the AI agents that are going live right now even have agentic AI in our case, because I think we kind of adopted, and not all of them, but like since we had the ability to do that, we have deployments which are agentic AI that are right now in production as well. One clear way to kind of look at AI agents before agentic AI and AI agents post agentic AI is, I mean, historically we've been doing tasks, we've doing transactions as well. But I touched upon in the last conversation whether the AI agents can autonomously uh, reason, uh, plan, and execute workflows dynamically that are not pre-configured in the for the AI agents through declarative code, which means that if I'm an airline and I didn't envisage that customers will and come for let's say reschedule of flight tickets, that's not a use case that I have defined for the AI agent to complete before the task. In the AI agents pre-agentic era, which was just few months back, that would have resulted in transferring to the agent so that the agent can complete that entire workflow. In AI agents that have agentic AI, they have access to all the APIs of the systems, the procedure, the SOP for executing a reschedule of flight tickets. They would automatically determine that this interaction with the customer would potentially need me to gobble up a few APIs. What is the right way to do the reschedule of flight ticket and execute it, even if it was not clearly predefined as a use case in the system? Which means that now the use cases that AI agents can deliver are almost infinite, as long as they have the right set of rules, right set of documents, and right set of systems that they can act upon. I think that is the power of agentic AI systems.
Got it. Got it. That makes it pretty clear, Raghu. Thanks. So those are some amazing insights and learnings, Raghu, Rashid. But since we are at the beginning of a new year, I thought it'd be great to pick your brains on some predictions about AI and AI agents, especially in the enterprise space that we are serving, because you guys have been building AI solutions from the early days, when everything needed to be defined, to where we are now with talking about deploying agent tech, right? So what are some of your predictions for this year, and what are some capabilities you see enterprise leaders adopting, or what are some of these capabilities that enterprise leaders that are looking to adopt this year, who haven't already, that they can look for in AI agents now versus, let's say, last year?
Yeah. So, Amber, it largely for 2025, there are couple of things which I'm really excited about. I think this will be one of those transformational years in the AI ecosystem for majority of the companies. This is a year where a lot of AI agents will become democratized and will get deployed at large scale. I think last year was a time when people were on the fringe of deciding sort of what platform to use, should they do it or not do it, is it the right time? But 2025 will be a year for where most companies will dip uh, uh, into the agentic way of sort of doing things, and sort of drive high consumption for them, get more value out of it. The second big trend which I'm sort of seeing is this is also be a rise of a lot of vertical agents sort of coming in, and a lot of new architectures to sort of think through some of these applications. Largely on the foundational front as well. The existing architecture people have, it essentially was it started a couple of years back. Now there are companies which are sort of trying to disrupt how even large language models work, and is there a better way to get to a more intelligent uh, form of models with probably like different kind of training or different parameters of training. So I think that will be definitely on the rise. And the third is the the explosive adoption of AI agents, not only at a consumer level but also at an application level, is going to happen drastically. And what I mean by that is, today, as we have a lot of these conversations with our partners and ecosystem companies, one of the things which has become very evident is every company out there sort of wants to give out some solution to their users in form of AI agents. So companies which have been doing probably like a HR software, companies which had been doing healthcare solutions. For them, they also want to start providing their services uh, through AI agents, right? So I think we're going to see a lot of very, very interesting sort of use cases this year coming in, and a wide gambit of it, right? And for us, largely from a tech perspective, a couple of things which I'm sort of excited about, which is like more broadly, uh, beyond what we do. First is essentially, obviously, the whole code generation aspect of it. I think the newer models are sort of enabling use cases, especially on the developer productivity side, to go drastically up. So today, building out newer features, building out newer designs, and thinking of ideas. AI essentially has become that sort of companion for most digital workers to just get better at their jobs, right? So I'm just going to see a huge trend of that sort of going forward. Um, I think one of the places. So I think if you look at the last couple of years, a lot of the Gen AI was sort of used for just generating stuff, right? So let's say if you wanted to generate a marketing copy, you wanted to generate like a piece of code, so you'd fall back on a Chat GPT or a Claude to sort of help with that. This year, one of my predictions also is largely that people are going to use AI agents to do a lot of reasoning, and you're seeing that essentially come with the GPT O1 Pro, and then they're talking about O3 at this point of time. So clearly, the direction which people are taking is, hey, generation is great, but what we need is a lot more reasoning, and the ability, so for us as humans to be able to just battle it out with an AI to sort of come up with ideas, and which helps us sort of become better at what we do. So we're gonna see a lot of that. So now, once that sort of comes into consumer adoption, with much higher reasoning, much better reasoning, especially for enterprises, that's also going to flow in through companies like Yellow and companies which are doing agentic platforms, and that could essentially yield a very new type of use cases, for our customers. So, for example, Raghu talked about the whole flight use case over there. Now you essentially can have a system which can take decisions which are much larger than or which impact a lot more into the company, right? So you could ask questions like, hey, should I raise my prices for flights going from SFO to New York on few days, right? And it can do a complete trend analysis and really reason it out and say, oh, yeah, you should or you should not, depending on what goals you want to sort of achieve. Same thing in the banking ecosystem. So especially when it comes to investments or understanding the markets, we might see a lot of sort of financial advisors come up, which are more AI driven, which have lot more reasoning built into them. So I think that will essentially will. I think this 2025 will be a year where that sort of comes into action as a part of development, as a part of consumers, and we see enterprise adoption maybe towards the tail end of 2025. So those are six big things for me. Three for Yellow and three outside of beyond Yellow is what I'm looking at.
Thanks, Rashad. Raghu, what are your predictions for this year?
Yeah. One, I think we'll see the start of invisible agents. I think that's there in Yellow's roadmap as well. The current AI agents handle synchronous tasks, which means that these tasks are getting done while you're having a conversation itself, like rescheduling of flight tickets, getting an order status, etc. But there are a lot of tickets that get filed in the company which need asynchronous execution across humans and systems. To give an example, we are working with equipment manufacturer. So let's say there is a defect in the equipment for which a service request needs to be scheduled. There's a time that needs to be coordinated with the customer. Then the real human need to go, get the device repaired, and then get the feedback and the ticket closed. All this can be orchestrated through the AI agents, and these sit on top of the CRM and keep closing your tickets. We'll see some of those, in enterprises this year. Second, you'll see jobs which are AI agent managers. Now there are supervisors who are managing human agents on contact centers. You'll see roles appear out there, which are essentially humans who are managing multitude of AI agents in the company. Third, I think, which is weird, as we all customers, we now get surprised when we are talking to an AI agent. I think you'll see the first set of humans in the world who will be surprised to talk to a human agent.
Right, that's an interesting take, but definitely something that I can foresee now. It's becoming harder and harder to distinguish between a human agent and an AI agent. Whenever I raise a request or a support ticket, and yeah, I can totally see that happening in the future. But with that, I think this last piece, last question for today. I know a lot of enterprises have already adopted AI for their operations last year, but there are also a large chunk who are still considering it, and then they're probably in the research space trying to understand if it's right for them. So for those leaders, what are those maybe top 2 3 recommendations that you would give, that these are the things that you should be looking for when deciding if first of all, if AI agents are for you, or if it is for you, these are the capabilities that you should be looking for, or these are the use cases that you should prioritize if you're starting out and you're not sure if you want to really get into it. What are those few recommendations from your end?
Yeah, I think so. As we see sort of this adoption get higher in 2025, as we are predicting, there's sort of two ways to sort of think through when essentially deciding to go on this journey. One is obviously the use case aspect of it and the benefit aspect of deploying AI agents. What we have traditionally seen, what has worked really well for companies is to take off small chewable use cases which you could define and deploy, see results, and then keep reiterating, which is on the consumer volumes sort of coming in, right? And that's where our analyze platform sort of helps do this in real time for most of you. So you bring in your transcripts, and we can detect out the top use cases to do. And over a period of time, you keep learning patterns, and it keeps telling you what more to be done, right? So it's very varied. It's I mean, I think the word for me is to not boil the ocean, especially when it comes to AI use cases. It's to sort of take very pinpointed things, show value to your stakeholders, with a few things and then sort of scale up. So I think you need to put like a roadmap of automation, which probably expands a year or year and a half, and not try to do everything the first day. I think that's where a lot of the implementation sort of go wrong in our point of view. And then obviously once you've decided what use cases, and then having the IT readiness and the consumer readiness, super critical over there. The second aspect we want to talk about predominantly is largely in terms of choosing vendors to be able to do this transformation with you, right? So a couple of things as enterprises, you're adopting agentic AI. A couple of things for you to sort of focus on is, first is, while there is sort of from an intelligence perspective, platforms would be using large language models, either like a GPT-4o or a Claude, or different LLM, and they're orchestrating on top of that. Now, from an orchestration perspective, it's super important to focus on platforms which are highly secure and highly compliant with your industry, right? Now, because essentially AI is going to be processing a lot of the consumer data, your knowledge base, your workflows. So you really need to really make sure that the security aspect and the compliance aspect is sort of taken care of in a great way as you sort of decide on some of these vendors and go along. And the third bit, especially when choosing vendors for your agentic transformation, is sort of looking at their innovation roadmap. Right now, we all know, the ecosystem for AI agents and agentic platforms is sort of evolving very, very fast, and we also will see a lot of new technologies come into 2025. So it's super critical to sort of look at vendors who have had the ability to foresee some of these changes which are coming in on the technology front, and who essentially have a clear innovation and a clear roadmap to handle them right up front, right? And one of the use cases that we talked about, which we're discussing internally, which you want to bring out, is this concept of invisible agents, right, which can do actions more proactively, sitting on your systems and taking actions while you're out there, helping your business grow. So just understanding the innovation and the roadmap aspect is a uh, critical decider of, yeah, should you work with companies or not. And looking at the past performance of innovation should sort of give some sense of how these companies will innovate moving forward. Yeah, so those are the big things from my side.
Right. Raghu, what about you?
Um, So I think there are one to kind of, let's say, maybe the question itself is wrong, because I don't think there's any enterprise that's not looking at deploying AI agents. So everyone right now are looking at. Now the question mark is, okay, where and with whom? We talked about where, some of the leading categories. And the question is, yeah, next is whom do I work with? And how can I ensure that whatever I'm deploying is devoid of risk and easily manageable? The way I kind of see it is companies that have the ability of, or the infrastructure that's already built out, that has proven, but whereas the engine keeps changing. I give the example of, if somebody were looking at buying an electric vehicle, would you buy a Tesla, or there is some new battery that's come up which charges maybe 50% better, and a new car that's out there in the market? The way that I would think about it is, Tesla has built the infrastructure of electric chargers, the safety around electric cars, the safety around FSD, the self-learning systems, the cameras, everything over the last 7 to 8 years. Whereas the lure of an additional 50 mileage charge might be higher. It's not like Tesla will not do it. It'll kind of change the engine, get there. But you would be much safer that with a system that's been working, whereas the core engine has been agile enough to change to adapt to the latest technologies. I think that's the overarching point of view that I would kind of suggest for companies adopting AI to look at.
Right. Those were some great takeaways, Raghu and Rashid. And thank you so much for sharing your insights today. Um, uh, so, for our audiences tuning in, I hope you've been taking some notes. And if you haven't, then not to worry. If you'd like an early access to our exclusive strategic playbook for adoption of AI agents for enterprises in 2025, just drop in a thumbs up or a rocket, whatever you feel like, because we are here to grow and succeed with you. And Another interesting bit that I'm really excited about is we are bringing back our flagship thought leadership event Envision, which has spanned for six prior editions, and our seventh one is on the way. And this time around, we are bringing in global AI leaders and adopters and practitioners to dive deeper into what's possible with AI agents now, and share even more insights on how enterprises are using them across industries, and what should be a strategic action plan for successful deployments this year. So thank you so much for engaging with us today. Stay connected, and we'll see you at Envision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.